That's why we've created Lean Engineering Agile Design Review, also known as LEADR. But before I get into the framework, it's really important to know why. And this is kind of the vision here. And oftentimes when you look at industry and you look at the big players, what they'll talk about is digitization, agile model-based enterprises, digital twins, AR, VR, AI, whatever it may be. And all those things are super important. But if we're going to go there, the foundation of how we work has to be fixed first, or we're going to spend more time trying to manage those tools than value we'll get back from them. And the honest truth is, like, most teams want to be here, but if you look at everyone, even the industry leaders, there is some part of that process that are right here. And we're still back at the beginning. And I've done it myself, and I'm sure everyone on the call at some point has gone back to that paper, has gone back to that PowerPoint, has gone back to that PDF. And that's where we're starting. Like, that is the truthful place that we need to start from to fix. And in order to do that, there's two main things we need to do. And that's take everything and digitize it first and make sure it's real time. Because if you're not enjoying where you're working and this focus is not on you as the user, there's no chance that you're going to spend your whole day in there working. And then the second part is we need to democratize access to these things. It should not be hard to open a CAD file. It should not take 20 minutes to your CAD tool to open. You should not wonder, is this the right file? It should be all built in. It should be a hub that is collaborative. It should be all the tools you need so you can do your job and not worry about the rest. So if we do those two things, then all the rest of these opportunities become true. So that's why we think LEADR is super important. Because what we'll do is take your process, which may look like this massive map that you have up on your wall that has a whole bunch of checks and balances of what happens if this scenario happens. And we take that and map that into something you can tangibly understand and work with every single day. So looking at this in its most basic form, this process here would be a company who has a backlog, which in our case for Collab represents your planning. So planning into deliverables or whatever you're going to be working on. A release state, which if you have a PLM, will match to your PLM. If you don't, it'll basically become your official release date for your files through Collab. And then everything in between are the stages and gates of your process. Oftentimes, you look at like a standard drawing template, a lot of them are check and approval, but this could have 10 stages in between. And that's the way we're building it. So you take your process, map it into something tangible. So then the only thing you need to do to start this is click on a file, whether it's in Collab already or from your PLM if you're integrated, and right click and say share for review. As soon as you do that, you're going to get this modal pop up that lets you tag who you need, put it through the due dates, make the comments you want. And if you want, you can automate all these steps just based on file and meta tags with the file you're trying to share. Looking at that then, this extends over any company, anywhere in the world. So how we do it is we basically take your process, take the map of what you're doing, and we break it down into something that's easier for everybody to understand. So in the example I gave previously, this is probably what the process actually looks like. But we can take that and build that into something that you see almost like a progress bar of where you are in your cycle. And if you click on one of these things, we'll give you back all the data associated with it and how you got there. Then we take that and we put into something you can actually use. So right now, most teams will have amazing processes built out so that they have all the checks and balances right. What they don't have is a way that engineering teams can understand this and actually use it practically without having to look it up all the time. So what we do is put this virtually in front of you so that you can actually see this entire process on your screen as the place that you work from every single day. So along the top of this Kanban board, you'll notice that it's actually going to be the same LEADR workflow. These cards are actually dynamically linked to the model, to the drawing, to the feedback that you create. And when you go through this process, we actually will do the updates for you. So for example, if I'm looking at that ready state, the check cycle, if I assign that to Taylor and Taylor goes ahead and says start review, the card will automatically move to in progress. If Taylor adds 10 comments, you'll see that little orange part in the top right corner, show the 10 comments where I can click and link. If I go ahead then and Taylor says I'm done and there's 50 things to change, it'll move to revisions. And once I'm done, I can either send it back to a check or move it into complete, depending on how you have your rules configured. So no more are you trying to figure out where things are as a manager. And no more are you as an engineer trying to tell people where you're to. And this works at the small level. So if you're an engineer and you wanted to see your own punch list and work and priorities, You can filter this down all the way to a specific project with a type of review, a creator, and assignee set of dates. Let's take it up one level. Say you're at the manager, you could look at a whole project. And if you're at an organization level, you could look across the whole org and basically say, this is where we are. This is where we're always stuck. Maybe we're always stuck in revisions. We're too slow. And this is how we become better at specific pieces of that process. Taking that then, we map that over into the exact same thing for how you do feedback. So today in the Colab app, you'd be able to create issues. With Colab 3.0, you'll be able to create whatever kind of feedback your team needs. So that's defects, NCRs, issues, comments, whatever they may be. On an easy to use interface, you can configure the feedback forms, have a whole bunch of different types of feedback that you can log the exact same way. Tag it to the model, mark up the drawing, add it to a piece of documentation, and then you can pull this into a very similar Kanban system that has all those dynamic links back to your data once again. And then this becomes really your hub where you can create almost a dashboard where along the top there, you see kind of reviews, feedback, drive, checklists. That almost becomes the heart and pulse of what you're doing, where you can click at any point of a short link to everything that's important for you to keep track of. And when you click one of those cards, it'll take you right to the thing you're worried about. In doing that, we get rid of all the steps after too. So if you need to get a history, how something changed, want to go back in time and look at how you made decisions, create lessons learned, help people improve, all of that is tracked against the file. And at any time you can say get review details, and it will show you what has been done to get to this place. And you don't have to keep track of these things anymore.